Alright, let's do this. Indeed, it's humans time! Greeting everyone, my name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a site for legacy death and taxes. And I was going to play D&T tonight. It was my intention to play some black-white D&T tonight, mostly because I wanted to play around with Orzhov Pontiff. And then I sat down to, build the deck list over lunch. And I didn't like anything that I was making, if we're being honest. It felt like the flex slots weren't quite working, my numbers didn't look good, or I wasn't confident in what I was going to be playing. And I still wanted to play with some Pontiff tonight, and I still wanted to play Vile, so this happened. So this is Doptify, is I guess how we're going to say that? This is Doptify's deck list from Legacy Challenge, maybe about a week and a half ago, or something like that. I want to say it was like the 4th. Or so I guess it would have been like the Legacy Challenge 2 weeks ago then. The Legacy Challenge, it was on the 3rd, and it must have gotten like posted on the 4th. I think the list is pretty standard for humans right now. I have not played humans with Phantasmal image before, so that's going to be new to me. I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. I potentially like it because, like, you can copy one of your hate bearers, like Meddling Mage or Freebooter. You can copy your lieutenants and just like go and really make the board absurd. Yeah, I've never made that mistake, but I've seen people do similar things. I'll equip my Phantasmal image. Oh no. So for anyone who didn't play like Standard or Modern when this was popular, this is essentially a 2-mana clone with the downside of whenever it gets targeted by a spell or ability, you sacrifice it. So like literally anything can kill it, which is a bit of a downside. But if you're able to mitigate that in some way, it ends up being pretty strong. So I think Humans has a good suite of cards for the time being. Like in the current meta, like Ant is really popular, and like we have a ton of disruptive threats. Like we have Thalia and Freebooter and Meddling Mage and Teague and Prelate and Surgicals. So like I feel like we're going to be in a better spot than D&T is in terms of like going and powering out some of these cards, because the stuff that's like 3 mana is a turn 2 play as well due to like Noble Hierarch. So like I think we're pretty well suited against like other combo decks as well, like Sneak and Show. And I'm a little worried about like Blood Moon, but I think that's on the decline. So like I think it's okay to try to break this deck out again. We'll see whether or not I'm actually right. And I kind of just want to like jump into games tonight. I want to play some Magic. We're coming off of our 4-1 with Blue-White Delver. That was a great league, by the way. It was a long stream. It was like 3.5 hours of content. But there were some absolutely great matches. I enjoyed Monday night a lot. Oh, we are playing against Project Mayhem. I see. Alright. So, turn 1 Cavern, play Vile. Cast Lieutenant on turn 2. Turn 3, play Pontiff. This game doesn't really do anything. Like, Vile's the best card in the deck by a lot, but, like, I don't really have anything going on with this hand, which is really unfortunate. Like, I think if one of these lands was, like, just about any creature, this is a strong keep. But, like, I can't even just, like, go all that aggro with Thalia's Lieutenant. I think a 6 with a Scry is going to be better than this 7. I'm really at the mercy of the top of my deck here, and I don't have a strong game plan. I'm going to ship this one. I like this hand better. I will be keeping this one. it has its problems. I'm going to bottom that, I think, in case my vial doesn't resolve. So I'm going to take an extra damage here, and I'm going to lead on my Horizon Canopy into Vial on turn 1. The reason being I don't necessarily want to show my opponent a Wasteland if I don't have to, because they might play out a non-basic that I can just snipe. A double Horizon Canopy opener is a touch awkward, but it's okay. Like, if you consider the amount of life that a normal deck loses over the course of a game with fetch lands, the damage that I'm going to take from Horizon Canopy is probably just going to be comparable. Nice. I'm going to put in the second one of these now. To just play around a Stifle effect. My opponent will probably have better things to do. But this makes me think like some sort of Rug or Bug Delver deck. Nope, I am wrong. Well, we are going to be poised to do a lot of damage this turn. Eddie, I wanted to play around a Daze. So I don't care about this Pierce, so like my force play is just like take an Invigorate. So our opponent is now facing lethal. So they played that Misty, we took an Invigorate, so we know they have like a Pierce and an Invigorate plus 1 mystery card. And there we go. I have not seen Infect in like maybe literally something like 100 games on Moto. It's been a very long time since I have seen Infect around. Alright, so I probably like Pontiff, probably like Dismember. P and K, while very slow, can produce multiple flying bodies to chump block Inkmoth Nexus, so that might be playable. Similarly, Palace Jailer might be okay. Again, slow, but the impact that it can have on a game is absurd. I probably won't go and just, like, play Deputy of Detention, though I'll think about it, and similarly, I'll think about this, but probably won't play it. Alright, what don't I need for this matchup? Honestly, I think my deck's pretty well suited for this fight. Like, I like most of the cards that I have access to here. Alright. Sorry, I need to read Invigorate real quick. Alright. If you control a forest, yada yada yada, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. So maybe I don't want to play Phantasmal images because, like, they can just be killed with Invigorates. I don't necessarily love Mom in the matchup. I don't know that I'll like cut all four, but I probably don't want to be playing a ton of those effects. Like I'm kind of the aggressor here, and my opponent's not really going to have much removal. They're just going to have pump spells. So like I'm probably going to cut some number of these. And maybe I don't need a second prelate. Maybe like Deputy of Detention as a non-human is too much on the mana base. But I kind of just like the general plan of like kill their stuff and aggro them out. I don't think I need to switch too many cards around. I could like cut a land if I wanted. I'm not entirely sure that I want to do that, but it's something that I definitely could. And I could also like trim a recruiter for something else. You think Jailer's a liability? Sure. Oh yeah, agent I wasn't thinking about. Yeah, so let's not play the Jailer and just like board a couple of cards. You know, trim 2 moms, trim 2 images, and call that a day. All right, what does my hand do? My hand goes turn 2 Lieutenant into turn 3 Reflector Mage, bounce your threat. This hand is not amazing. I would rather have something with a 1-drop or some turn 2 piece of interaction. I think this one's a mulligan again. This hand is unexciting, but much better. I'll keep this and hope my scry is good. Horizon Canopy can go to the bottom. All right. Is this an Ether Vial start, or is this a Noble Hierarch start? If I start on Noble Hierarch, then on turn 2, I can go second Noble Hierarch into Thalia's Lieutenant. If I go Vial, then next turn, I can Vial in 1 Hierarch and play the second Hierarch in Wasteland. The Vial opens me up to like a Daze or a Spell Pierce type effect. But I don't think that's that big of a deal. The Daze makes like my mid-rangey plan much better as the game goes long. Or sorry, the Vial does. So I think I'm still going to play this out. But I think this is like a very close decision whether or not this is like Vial or Noble Hierarch. I'm really hoping that I see a non-basic land that I can take out. There we go. Even better. Don't play Blighted Agent. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the race is on. This isn't going to be a Lieutenant turn. This is going to be a turn where I Wasteland them. The question is, what do I Wasteland? Because if I Wasteland this Trop, and they don't have another colored mana source, they might not be able to do anything, because you can't, like, Invigorate for free or anything like that. And, like, not fetching a forest is interesting to me. Like, that means that... So they probably don't have another blue fetch, because of... Or no, I guess they played Verdant on turn 1. Never mind, I take back that line of reasoning. I think the highest upside play is to take out Trop here. All right. The gambit has failed. All right. Let's see if I'm dead. Am I dead? I'm not dead, but I'm guaranteed dead in 2 turns. And my goldfish speed is probably not good enough to beat that. Well, we have noble hierarchs for days. So I guess the dream is hope opponent does not have a pump spell and draw Orzhov Pontiff. Or recruiter for Orzhov Pontiff. If they've got it here, they've got it here. So it looks like either thing that we wastelanded wasn't going to go well for us. They had plenty of land. Yeah, it would have been 1 more damage to swing with 1 noble. I just clicked attack all. That's on me. I'll own up to that one. I already had kind of accepted the fact that I was just like dead, if we're being perfectly honest. So I didn't think about that at all. Like I will just like consider it an actual miracle if I'm not dead here. Yeah. I don't think I want to change anything. So green PM, what are we bluffing there? Like what do we bluff at 2 CMC that we wouldn't just put in ahead of time? The answer is like nothing. And if they like have a pump spell, attacking in with Blighted Agent is like just a winning line anyway. So they don't like if I'm representing Freebooter, they don't even have to attack in with the Nexus. Sure, but if I have Dismember, I would probably do it on my turn in order to like play around a pump spell going and saving it. Well, I guess Dismember specifically is not working the way a lot of the other pump spells do. Well, I'm going to keep this. If our turn 1 Vial gets countered, I'm in pretty bad shape. All right. Very happy to see my opponent have a Noble Hierarch start rather than a start with a more aggressive creature. Alright, how do I want to do this turn? I don't necessarily know that I'm going to need Mom this game. So like if the turn 1 play is Noble Hierarch, that means the chance of like Glistener Elf coming down later is slightly lower. So this might be like play Champion into uncounterable Kitesail Freebooter. You like playing Champion into Meddling Mage, naming Blighted Agent. You know, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Yeah, I think that's actually a better line. My vial. Alright, so hoping to draw a land now so that I can just like Reflector Mage this back and get a huge amount of tempo in my favor. Alright, do I have any non-humans in the deck right now? I boarded in P and K, Pontiff, 2 Dismembers. So I do have Phantasmal Image, but those are in the sideboard, so no, I can still just put this on human safely. So we're in pretty good shape now. Assuming my opponent doesn't have a chump blocker, like we're going to play 2 more humans, so this will be a 5/5, so we're potentially swinging like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage next turn. Considerably more if we just like draw something like, say, Thalia's Lieutenant, and I would like consider doing that over playing the Freebooter. We'll kind of see how the rest of the turn shapes up. Is it going to be like yet another Hierarch? Orzhov Pontiff. One-time dealer, please. Our opponent, like, probably is not going to have a ton of, like, trampoly stuff. Alright, so there's a Become Immense and a Vines of Vastwood over there. I don't, like, super particularly care about either of those. I guess I'll take the Become Immense because, like, it threatens more long-term damage. Even though it's not, like, it's plenty castable right now with 3 cards in Graveyard and 3 Noble Hierarchs over there. So I'll take the Become Immense. Alright, so I played this turn. So if I hit for 7, that'll put them to 6 life. I could put them to 4 life instead. I kind of just want to chump block with the Reflector Mage, though, and then have, like, perma block for Glistener Elf on all the following turns. But if I make in the attack with Reflector Mage here, then I just have, like, guaranteed lethal unless my opponent has Inkmoth Nexus as a colorless blocker. But if I hit for 7 and I, like, play another creature, I still have that same line available to me, so I like this attack. Like, Champion plus Mom is already lethal here. So, like, we can just play around with something going wrong. Yeah, so since they have the colorless blocker off the top there, we just take this chump block, and then we have Glistener Elf handled forever. This is actually pretty good. It's awkward, though. Like, we left our opponent... No, I guess I can just, like, take the Vines of the Vastwood. It's not awkward. All right. I need to do it this way, though. So this way, if our opponent tries to cast the Vines of the Vastwood, in response, I kill the Inkmoth Nexus, and they don't see the line. So I get to just take the Vines, which is sweet. So that leaves our opponent with just Viridian Corruptor. So now I destroy Inkmoth Nexus. Give this pro-green. And we've got it. Nice. Well, that was fast. I would indeed like to play first. No results for our opponent. All right, what do we have? Turn 1 Mom into turn 2 Thalia. Keep. Our opponent has mulliganed once. Our champion probably isn't going to be very good this game, just with the way that I think I'm going to be curving out. Oh, yikes. It appears we are probably playing against Dredge. The good news is, like, we probably have our, like, best Game 1 card against Dredge here. The bad news is kind of everything else about this situation. So we get a Thalia, which hopefully will keep them from casting anything. And we're really hoping that they brick on this Dredge, or at least don't get a great Dredge, so that I can then Wasteland them off of Mana Confluence and, like, hopefully make them cast no spells for the rest of the game. Alright, they have gotten a Narcomoeba, however, they do not have a Dredger currently. Life is pretty good. We'll see, like, if they can play a 1-mana spell here, and they can. Which is super unfortunate, because that means the Golgari Grave Troll is going to go back to the yard. There's 2 bridges in there currently. You can't flashback Cabal Therapy. Alright. But what does my opponent do on their turn? We can kill our own image right now, Eddie. Like, we can Legend Rule Thalia to kill it, or we can, like, use Mom, target it, and kill it at any moment. Or, sorry, yeah, I guess we don't have the mana to do so. That's the issue. I see. Rainbow mana base, not quite as rainbow as one might hope. So, I think long-term, the Phantasmal image is very important to my plan for winning this game. So I think I'm going to need to get Vile in play and hope that I can use the image to get rid of the bridges. Because I can maybe beat a bridge, but I can't beat multiple. Hello, hello, and welcome. Thank you very much for the raid. For everyone tuning in, hello. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a site for legacy, death, and taxes. And today we are playing 5-color humans. We won our first round versus Infect, and this is game 1 against Dredge now. Humans indeed. I'm going to hold Mom back because I foresee Icarid coming in, so we'll just attack with Athalia, and then we'll play our Vile. That was a much more aggressive block than I thought was going to be happening there. I mean, I accept it. I'm just maybe not surprised. But I wasn't really expecting it. Man, it's been a while since I've cast a Primeval Titan in Legacy. I do enjoy that card. I've played it in, like, Nick Fit, in the Applejacks deck. It's good stuff. Little Joe, Holy Light is a well-positioned card, but the issue is that it's kind of bad in the first place, right? So, yikes. Will I trade Mom for bridges? Yes. Doesn't feel good, but it's what's happening here. So, Little Joe, just to follow up a little bit more, I was thinking about playing Black-White D&T with Pontiff tonight, because I think Pontiff is a very, very well-positioned card against a bunch of the threats that we're seeing from, like, Delver decks right now. So, I wanted to play that, and I ended up not really liking any of the deck lists that I was putting together, so I ended up on Humans tonight. While Humans is very well positioned against combo decks, generally speaking, it's not necessarily true for Dredge specifically, because Dredge is fighting from a much different axis than most of your other combo decks. And I just kind of feel like I lost this one when my opponent went turn 1 Mana Confluence, Faithless Looting. Yes, it would have been better to block a zombie. Alright. Am I just already dead? Probably. So what can I do here? I can just play champion and freebooter and hope to clog the board and then try to use image for something crafty later on. I don't just want to throw away the image yet because I do have some sweet things that I can target with it, including my own Thalia to just like legend rule and kill bridges. So does LED actually do anything? With land plus LED, no. LED doesn't particularly do anything. I'll take the Faithless Looting. Our opponent has this Gemstone Mine, and the Gemstone Mine is actually going to, like, end up going away to activate the other Cephalid Coliseum that's already in hand. So, like, the LED is a dead card in hand. I don't need to worry about that. I mean, the Faithless Looting is also probably a dead card. I had a lot of fun playing Applejacks. I think I streamed with it like 3 times or something like that. The deck is neat. It for a little while it white? Alright, I didn't think so. For a little while it was really well positioned because like the deck bullies Death and Taxes pretty well. So like if you can go and like take advantage of its positioning, you can do really sweet things with like Titania and just like recurring lands again and again and again and again and again. Alright, good news for me. Both bridges are in the graveyard. Oh, Rurik Thar is awesome. I have played Rurik Thar in many decks. I have played that as a like tutor targeting elves. I have played that in Applejacks. And I've shoved it into a couple of like Nick Fit builds as well. I don't want to give them zombies for the Narcomoeba. So I'll take this too. So they'll get 2 more zombies here. Then I can use Phantasmal Image to go and get rid of these. Doesn't target, right? I guess that doesn't matter because like I'm gonna like get rid of all of this stuff anyway. So if I get rid of this, I get rid of the bridges. I will probably still just like die to aggro, but I can at least pretend to play Magic. I guess there's a world where I want to consider if I even show this trick. So how many Icarids are in the graveyard? So there's 1 Icarid, 2 Icarid, 3 Icarids. So if they attack with 3 Icarids plus all of this stuff, I'll have 4 blockers. And I can go like 1, 2, 3. Probably wouldn't want to block with this one. Or I guess I'd like have to block with it. Yeah, I think I'm on the slippery slope to death here. And I'd rather not show this Phantasmal Image trick this game. I don't think I can beat multiple turns of Icarid beats. Plus, maybe I should try. Yeah, alright. Let's try. It's possible that it is better to wait and, like, not take this action this turn and do it on their turn. But if my opponent, like, takes a natural draw, draws land, and then, like, flashes back a therapy or something like that and ends up getting a whole bunch more zombies, I think I'm in trouble. So I can get rid of one of these. Get rid of one of these. Survive that. Trade with a zombie. How much damage is this? 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Alright. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. If I block another Icarid instead, yeah. Alright, I'm dead. So I didn't see the fourth Icarid. The fourth Icarid made me dead. Otherwise, I could have survived. I could have changed the way one blocker was to soak up one more point of damage. Alright. We get Surgicals. We get Priest. We get Fairy. All that stuff seems great to me. From there, I don't know that I'll actually end up playing anything else. I can consider Sanctum Prelate. Like, putting it on 1 stops a good portion of their deck. And putting it on 4 is also somewhat relevant to stop Dread returns. But it's not the greatest. I can also consider Dismember, but it doesn't really feel great. Like, let's look at what doesn't really matter over here. I guess I can also consider Second Pontiff. Second Pontiff is kind of medium. A lot of these cards are kind of medium. Like, these 5 are obviously all-stars, but this stuff is bad. So I don't like Reflector Mages. Mom is weak, but can help push the last few points of damage through a bunch of, like, black zombie cards. We saw some utility of Phantasmal Image this game. Meddling Mage is kind of weak. It's not, like, actively bad or anything, but I would rather play a Thalia before it, and I'd probably rather play a Freebooter before it. So if I, like, don't board in all of these, like, medium cards, I can pull my 3 Meddling Mages and ship it like this. No, well, maybe the Magical Christmas Land scenario where I get to Deputy of Detention away a whole bunch of zombie tokens is worth it. Like, maybe that's better than, say, the 4th Thalia's Lieutenant or the Sanctum Prelate. I'm willing to play this. So, Eddie, I think when I'm on the play, I'd rather Freebooter, and when I'm on the draw, I'd rather Meddling Mage. Yikes! So I have Surgical, which is, like, one of my best cards in the matchup. However, I literally can't do anything. So if my opponent can beat a Surgical, I just lose. I think this has to be a mulligan. Like, I don't have that many hits for colored mana. So, like, I have 21 lands, 20 remain in the deck. Of those 20, 17 are colored. I've got to ship that one. Well, this is great. I will put that to the bottom. That is a turn too slow. The card I want to surgically extract is Bridge from Below. However, if my opponent dredges and only dumps one dredger, then I will just take that. Alright, they name Surgical Extraction. Okay. Not overly surprising. I'm going to take the Breakthrough. I'll leave them with the Faithless Looting. And sneak a point of damage here with Mom. Remember, Mom does have 1 power and toughness. She can do the attacking. If our opponent goes looting and then discards Stinkweed Imp and no other dredger, I'll be pretty tempted to just, like, Surgical the Imp. I'm not going to extract the Faithless Looting. I'm going to give them the dredges here, and then hope that I can, like, find, or that they flip a Bridge from Below, and I can just take those out. Because I think I can just beat them slow dredging without Bridge, and I don't really think I want to gamble and, like, try to take the Trolls and leave them with Imp. I think that can go very wrong. So there's a Bridge already in there. So I'll let them do their thing, put more bridges into the yard, and then if they had anything that I could respond to, I'd just take them out. Alright. Life's looking okay. So I'm gonna... I guess I can just, like, draw my card here off Horizon Canopy. See what I get. See if it, like, changes my decisions at all. Because I don't think I'm gonna need another land if I can also, like, cast this Noble Hierarch. I will still cast the Noble Hierarch. And do I need to dredge now? So 1 bridge, 2 bridge, 3 bridges. In response to any trigger in their draw step, I can just extract. But if they take a I'm going to extract now. I don't want to, like, get into some weird world where they take a natural draw and it's stupid the cycling dude and I get totally blown out or something like that. I don't think that's gonna happen. Alright, so opponent has 1 Dread return, a Silent Gravestone, 2 Silent Gravestones that I care about, and not much else. Okay. Yeah, Lewin, it wasn't a perfect example, but like what I was getting at is I'm pretty far ahead, so I just want to play around something stupid happening that I wouldn't anticipate for not surgicaling. Like there's only one of those left in the deck, so there's very low odds that like that thing is going to flip, and that is like going to be super relevant to the game. Like once I've stripped the bridges out of their deck, like I have Icarids to like worry about, but like the mom's gonna have those on lockdown. So I think like playing around something that I don't anticipate is probably better than like getting that potential 1 out of whatever 45 cards or whatever's left in their deck chance of like that card flipping. Yeah, I guess it's bigger than that because like they're flipping 6 cards, but you know, 6 out of 45. I think that's fine. Okay, so I like Meddling Mage a little bit better when I'm on the draw. Because, like, by the time a Kitesail Freebooter comes down, your opponent might have already dumped a good portion of their hand. So we are in match 2. We won round 1 versus Infect, and now we're playing against Dredge. Something else I didn't consider before is I can use P and K to throw a Thopter and kill bridges. It might be too slow on the draw. I mean, I think a lot of my things are too slow on the draw. But I think that's the matchup. So no, you can kill your own token in order to get rid of a bridge. That's why you can like bounce your Batter's Skull in order to like get rid of a bridge. The other side of bridge is non-token. Yeah, exactly. I'm not super sure about some of my sideboarding here. Like, there's fringe scenarios where like Pontiff is great, and fringe scenarios where like P and K can be awesome. But like so many of my cards are just like so slow. Easy mulligan here. His hand is pretty good. I think I take this. It gives me a second turn to play. Well, opponent having therapy for surgical 2 games in a row has been rough. So I guess the next question now is, do I just like snap off this wasteland on the mana confluence and hope they don't have another land? If they don't have another land, it takes them 3 turns to just like hard discard anything. Dredge doesn't actually play that many lands. So I kind of just want to snap this off and just like hope that I can make them stumble and then make the cards that I have in hand matter. Like either line that I take this turn involves hoping. So like if I play Noble Hierarch, I'm hoping my opponent doesn't do anything sweet. If I play Wasteland, I'm hoping that it mana screws my opponent. And I'm gonna hope for the mana screw after my opponent took a mull. Well, that's super unfortunate on a number of different levels. Yeah, I think like using the waste is my best chance of winning the game. But life's bad if they have another land. It's even worse if they had a third land in that hand, and now they can activate the Colosseum as well. Yep, okay. Like, I don't regret anything that I did this game. Like, I don't regret my mulligan decisions. I don't regret the scry off the top. Yikes. So there's an Ashen Rider in the graveyard. They get double Narc Amoeba. They know my hand and can therapy me. And I'm going to lose one of these 2 cards. They clearly have lands. You're sure right. So if they flip a Dread Return to a Dredge, I probably can't win. Like, Ashen Rider on my land is probably devastating. Alright. I probably need to Sanctum Prelate on 4 to stop Dread Return. The issue being that Cabal therapies are going to be almost as bad for me. But I don't think I have much choice in the matter. And I might need to put this one on Wizard to play towards... Nope. Let me be over here, Moto. To play towards Deputy of Detention. Man, tabbing between while making those choices doesn't work too well. Alright. Life's bad, but the Dredge matchup is pretty bad to begin with, so like that's not surprising. We're not 100% dead, but I'm in rough shape. Like, there's double Icarids here, so I'm going to be taking 6 damage, and they're going to be getting, like, 4 more zombies at minimum. If they flip more bridges, I'm in trouble. If they flip more Cabal therapies, I'm in trouble. Like, life, all in all, is just bad. Yeah, there's a therapy. I think this one has slipped past the point of winnable. I'm going to play on for another turn or two because like they had so many lands. Like there's a world where I can win if I get like a Containment Priest. Man, their hand was so good. That was a very good mulligan. All right, the fourth bridge is in the graveyard now. This is going to be insurmountable. I'm fine conceding here and saving the 5 minutes it takes to finish this game up. Like I'm gonna get Cabal Therapied and just like obliterated. Yes, we do have they could get hit by a meteor line. That one is always available to us. But short of that, we're dead there. I did not expect to win that one versus Dredge. I did not play game one well, but it did not matter. Well, I assumed it was 1 minute to actually finish the game and 4 minutes for my opponent to flex on me by making maximum number of zombies they possibly could make. Yeah, so like the issue is at this point, even if I like go and draw something sweet, like it's just not good enough. Gutshot the Bob, thank you very much for your Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. And I had a handful of followers this stream that I did not recognize yet. So, D'Amato EXP, Ishelig, Thagriza, Majikusar, and Nailon Sham. Thank you very much for following. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope you are enjoying everything. We got bullied by Dredge. We'll try to do better this round. Do not have any information on what my opponent is playing. But my hand's kind of sweet, so I'll be keeping this. We're really hoping this file... Is it just going to be Red Prison? Chalice of the Void. Alright, friend. You think your Chalice of the Void is good? Have you met Cavern of Souls, though? Cavern. Human. And this is where you just stare them down. You just stare them down and go, yeah, your Chalice trigger resolves. What about it? Cooldown Max, has your opponent ever turned into a pebble? I'm just curious. You know, is that something that happens to you? Because if so, you might be a real magician. Cavern on Vial. Cavern on Vial would be strong. Assuming that this is Red Prison, this is not a matchup that I want to play against. And it is indeed looking... Well. Uh-oh. Well... I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna do it, chat. So, as a Red Prison player myself, and a connoisseur of Blood Moons, this happens a lot where you, like, play a risky Trinisphere and you get stuck under your own Trinisphere and everything is awful. We're hoping to top deck one more land in a row. Would that be too much to ask for? 3 lands in a row on top of the deck? Yeah! So, if my opponent top decks a soul land, Thalia can potentially, like, stop them from casting a Blood Moon. But I kind of want to just, like, be saucy and try to dodge for a turn and play out the other champion because of, like, the greater amount of damage it represents over time. But that might be very greedy. Because if they go, like, Soul Land... No, I guess if they go Soul Land Blood Moon, Mm. Mm. All right, I'll be disciplined and play the Thalia. I think Champion 2 is the better play. Thalia is the more conservative play. I took the more conservative line. Like, yep. I mean, that's about what I thought was going to happen, but I don't think you should have shown me that because you showed me which build of Red Prison you're on, and there's a couple of them right now. All right. So Night of Autumn is an out to all of their shenanigans. P and K is something I can cast through a Blood Moon. Deputy of Detention is permanent, right? So I guess this is good. I can consider more Sanctum Prelate and putting it on 4. It is pretty grand, and like 3 stops like a bunch of shenanigans as well. Yeah, so like the thing I'm like kind of worried about is like these cards are good, but they're not humans, and my mana base is already shaky and under attack by like moon men. So, yikes. So what's bad? Sandstone Ray, I'm not sure. I haven't played humans in a while. I would direct that question towards Eddie, Yosoa Easy in chat. So I want to cut the Pontiff. It doesn't actually kill the token producers. I think I want to cut the Reflector Mages. Is Image actually good? I'm not sure if Image is actually good. I want Dismembers. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to board out. Like, I see Image being very conditional, and so maybe I don't want that. I can go like a touch less aggro and like trim a lieutenant or 2. Or actually, maybe it's supposed to be like Champion of the Parish, because like that plays around Chalice as well. I think you're more comfortable cutting lands than I am. I don't think I want to cut lands against a deck that could like conceivably leave Trinispheres in. I think they're going to board them out, but there's a world where they don't. I think I'm going to whack the submit button like this and see where we end up. So if I don't get turn 1 mooned, this is fine, because I have like Hierarch into Night of Autumn. So I'll keep this and just hope not to get turn 1 mooned. Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, this is fine. It's not like amazing for me or anything, but it's fine. I do probably have to just like go and play out the Noble Hierarch. I'm going to need multiple spells in order to go and take over this game. And wastelanding your opponent's soul land when they already have a like 3-turn clock in play. Not the best line. I'm kind of hoping they don't do anything of note this turn, because I think if I can like play Thalia plus Wasteland or like play Thalia plus Mom, I'm actually going to be in a very good position this game. But like if they go in like Moon here now or something. Oh geez, Chandra now. All right, it's very good to know they have Sulfur Elemental. So we can stop the Rabble Master itself, but if my opponent just hides behind these tokens and plays the Chandra game, this is a losing proposition for me. Yikes. So now, even if I like keep chump blocking one of these tokens a turn, I'm on the losing end of this deal. I will get to kill the Legion War Boss next turn, so that's nice. Like, this is forced to attack due to the Rabble Master. I think I'm about 90% to lose this game right now. Like, the damage that I'm going to take this turn, plus just, like, Chandra pings, is going to make it so that, like, any other card is just going to put me dead. And I might just be dead now. So this is 6, 7. No, I can go to 1. So technically not dead. But very badly burned. So I guess I can take out both of these, be almost dead, and then draw magic. So, like, I can cast Mom and Knight of Autumn and gain life. That puts me at 5, right? But there's still just, like, too much on board. All right. So we had a start that was ready to beat the Blood Moon side of the deck, but not the side that could go and beat just, like, the aggressive side. And, you know, it is what it is. All right, when I'm on the play, do I want to change anything? I know about Sulfur Elemental now, and so I kind of want to hedge around that a little bit. So I think I'll trim some Moms and put some Champions back in. Like, I know this is a white 1/1, but if this gets into play, it becomes bigger than what they have going on pretty quickly. There's also a world where, like, I try to get cheeky, and I try to, like, I'll Phantasmal Image your idiot. But I don't know that that's actually good. This is a deck I did not want to play against. All right, let's try it. I wanted to play Orzhov Pontiff in this format because I think it's very well positioned, but, you know, I wanted to try it in D&T where I still had a handful of basic lands. All right, I'm going to keep this one. And I might not even start on Ether Vial. I might just start on Champion and just try to get aggressive. I'm going to think about this for a second. So if I play Vial, I'll essentially miss 2 points of damage, but set myself up better for the rest of the game. So I think missing the 2 points is fine. So let's go Caracas Vial pass. And let's see what they've got for me. This time, we'd be okay with the Rabble Master start. Like, if they go, like, Rabble Master and just, like, attack in or something like that, you know, we can play Thalia to brick wall it and have a champion that will be bigger than the tokens in, like, a turn or so. Yeah, and since we have the Vial, we're decently equipped to still play a game of Magic here. Like, we're greatly slowed down, but certainly not dead. Whether or not we curve into, like, Mom into Thalia or, like, Champion is hard to tell here. Magus is fine. That's not a real threat at this stage. Honestly, this is an interesting decision. Because, like, I can just put in Mom now and then keep Violet at 1 for a turn to dump in the Champion, or I could, like, do the same thing but vice versa, but get super blown out by a Sulfur Elemental. I don't really know what the line here is. Like, there's also a world where I just, like, ignore this Champion and just, like, tick up and play Thalia. I'm gonna play Mom. If I draw another Vial, I'll have an awkward endgame Champion. So I get blown out specifically by the card Sulfur Elemental, but if they have that card, I probably can't beat it anyway, whereas this is going to let me play around it like a Fiery Confluence or a Chandra. All right. Hazoret qualifies as an annoyance, but that's all. Got all these sweet lands. So Hazoret can't attack or block currently, so this is a safe attack in with Athalia. And this is an awkward moment, because normally, like, I would Kitesail Freebooter in the draw step, but if I wait until the draw step, there's a possibility that they could discard something that I could take, and I might not actually get to take anything. I still think I am going to wait until the draw step, but, like, let it be known that there is risk associated with this line. Alright, we were bricking no matter what. But the good news is that their hand is garbage. Like, the best thing about it is that they can go Hellbent with Hazoret relatively quickly. So I don't even know that they're supposed to play any of those cards. Like, their line might just be, like, start discarding them with Hazoret. So, like, I don't actually know what playing the Magus accomplishes long term. That doesn't mean it's, like, necessarily bad or anything, but Meddling Mage is not bad. I think Meddling Mage is going to snap go on Fiery Confluence, because if our opponent draws that and takes out our Vial and wipes most of our board, we can't possibly win. Death by 18 needles. Alright, it's not really 18 needles, it's like 16 needles, because like the last turn I can protect a Thalia and get in there, but you get the idea. Yep. Yep. Split second is rough. I guess that's one of the things that playing the other Magus can accomplish. Can I win from here? This Thalia Lieutenant comes in, grows these. No, probably not. All right, let's just back this one up. Even if we like draw a Dismember or something like that to take the Sulfur Elemental off the board, the damage has been done at that point. So like I like humans theoretically against some of the decks of the format right now, but like maybe there's still just a little too much red prison floating around where like you can't safely play an entirely non-basic mana base, even if you do have some degree of insulation against it. $15 stepper. Is this a Storm player? Elves, Infect, D&T, Blue-Red Delver. Could be anything. I have a reasonable hand. I'll go and keep this one. D&T. So, we don't have an amazing start against D&T. Of the decks I listed off, this is the one we did not want to play against. At least their start's kind of weak. But, like, we have, like, many of our worst cards versus D&T in hand currently. Hopefully we'll get to, like, blow our opponent off with a sweet Orzhov Pontiff or something like that later on in this game. So I'm going to play this Thalia Guardian of Thraben that is very likely to just get bounced. Hello, welcome. So we are currently 1 and 2 in this stream. We're getting bullied a little bit. Pairings have not been favorable. But maybe it's my fault for like choosing to play humans tonight. That one might be on me. Alright, so they have their own Thalia, which I can deal with via Caracas at any time, and that time might be now. I want to play my own mom rather than like play Prelate this turn. Vile's very strong. So I guess I can bounce their Thalia now. Now, if I attack in with both of these, they can just like block with Mom Protect. Yeah, it's not worth it yet. Can you explain to me the 1x flagstones of Trocare in taxes? Yeah, some people don't understand math very well and think that somehow they're going to draw their 1 of flagstones at the same time that they also have their 2 of Cataclysm in the sideboard. It's very ambitious. It is, like, probably not worth it. Alright. So, I'll take the free value of bouncing my opponent's Thalia, but this Stoneforge is going to come down and get Jitte is a huge problem as soon as they get a flyer. And this Meddling Mage doesn't actually really do anything great. I wonder if I'm just supposed to, like, try to rip a good card with Horizon Canopy here this turn. I think I am. Well, all right. What am I naming? The issue is, like, the vial undoes much of my work with naming here. I think I just name Swords to Plowshares. It's not really a great card, but it's something that, like, they could Swords to Plowshares, point it at something, and then, like, potentially get some Jitte counters, take out the mom more permanently, and I'm dead. Yeah, like, none of the cards in D&T are good, right? So that makes the decision difficult. I think there's some worlds where a Swords to Plowshares can bite me in the butt. So I'm gonna name that, even though I don't really expect it to be super relevant this game. I wish I could, like, be aggressive, but I can't really. Like, if I attack in with the champion, all it does is, like, force them to tap a mom. So, like, now if they take this vial up to 3, for example, and they have a Flicker Wisp, I'm so dead. Alright, so they don't have a 4th land. That's great. And I have a creature of a 2nd color. That's also very good. Yeah, I know I'm gonna be sad. Well, there's some spicy cards over there. I don't think I'm gonna, like, beat this combination of cards. But we'll see if my opponent sees the line, which is just gonna, like, knock the pants off of me. It's not all that hard. Yeah. Sucks. So I've lost the equipment war. Like, now my opponent gets to, like, give their Flicker Wisp pro black, attack in with it, and, like, then they can kill my mom, and then the game is kind of over from there. Yeah, and I can't just, like, block and expect anything to happen because my opponent will just, like, tap the mom, or just accept the trade, honestly. We were not beating the Wisp. Am I just dead? Technically, the answer to that question is no. But in practice, I don't think I'm getting out of this. Like, even if I draw Orzhov Pontiff and I take care of the mom, my opponent's still going to have 3 Jitte counters. Like, plus they have, like, gas off the vials still. So I think I'm going to scoop this one up here. Alright, so what do I like? Priest is awkward, but okay. P&K is probably fine. Jailer's probably fine. Knights are probably fine. Pontiffs are probably fine. Dismember and Deputy are, like, maybe questionable, but I would consider them. Because I'm probably going to have a handful of cards that I don't really like. So, like, I'm not comfortable with, like, Thalia's being in the deck. They're very bad. I think Meddling Mage is pretty bad, and I think Kite Sail Freebooter does not have very many targets. Like, its biggest upside is actually just the fact that it is a flyer. Actually, Sanctum Prelate is worse than all of that. So I guess I, like, trim one Kite Sail Freebooter beyond that. Alright, we've boarded in 9 cards, and I still have some things I'm kind of medium on. My mana is also going to be kind of weird, because I'm, like, doing the special where, like, I'm bringing in multiple different non-human creature types. Clearly, you bring in the fairy, since it's a 2/2 flyer. And it's super hard to cast to boot. I'll take the easier to cast 1/2 flyer. But I appreciate the foresight there. Would you like to play first? You bet I would. Alright, what does my hand do? My hand goes turn 1 Hierarch into turn 2 Freebooter. Hopefully take a piece of equipment or a swords or something. I don't know that this is a winning hand. Like, this is a fine mix of lands and spells, but I don't know that I actually have a plan to win the game. Alright, so, like, let's look at my deck. What is my plan to win? My plan to win is, like, have a Vial and abuse its tempo, or have a Mom and abuse some of my higher power creatures, or get to the end game and abuse the power of some of my sideboard cards. I don't know that this hand is good enough. I think the Kite Sail Freebooter on turn 2 is relatively likely to just miss. And I think I'm going to ship this hand. Yikes. Well, this hand is awful and arguably worse. But I don't think I can go to 5 and win a difficult matchup like this. Turn 1 champion into turn 2 champion into turn 3 Reflector Mage and hope it works. Alright. I have a plan. It is not a good plan, but it is a plan. Go Vile Offspring. 100% modern confirmed. Don't do that. That's so mean. Nope. Undo. Them starting on the Vial is, like, very, very bad for us. Mostly because it was my plan to, like, try to play this tempo game where, like, I go and aggro them out as quickly as possible. But the Reflector Mage tempo that I'm going to buy back is now basically 0. So I don't even think I play this turn. I think I just, like, play a Noble Hierarch. And pray. This would be a pretty sweet spot for a Containment Priest. Like, trade for a Champion of the Parish. Alright, please play something that I can Reflector Mage. Alright, why is this good? I see now. That's why it's good. All right. My life is the hardest life. If I reflector mage's Flicker Wisp, they can just like Violet in and then use it to remove all of my counters from the champion. But at the same time, I don't really think I'm in a position to not do it. Due to this... yeah. Yep. Alright, so... blue, white, colorless, reflector mage... Alright, my opponent did not have any 2-drops. I cannot overstate how good that is. Now, that probably means the remainder of their hand is just absolute gas. Yeah, I'll use Path to Exile's ability. I did not find a basic land. So I need to attack in with both of my creatures here. It's very likely that my opponent will flicker out the champion and then trade with the Reflector Mage, although that's not guaranteed to happen. They may just take 2. And I'm going to hold the unclaimed territory in case I need to put it on a different creature type than what I'm expecting. Alright, show me another Flicker Wisp. You've got to have one. Grumble, 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 grumble. Yeah, I guess I could have continued to hold this because I have the Hierarch. Kind of given up on this one, though. Like, my opponent has so many good top decks, and I don't really feel like I have good top decks. It's basically just like Orzhov Pontiff. I mean, I'm happy that they use a 3-mana removal spell to get rid of that. Okay. I mean... there's a world where I'm supposed to save this to try to, like, swing for lethal in 1 turn. But I think I just want to put it into play. Oh god, this isn't a human. Thought I was going to get 2 things with counters. That makes my line considerably worse. Oh, Mom is certainly busted. Mom is doing so much work this game, and most of the games that she's in, to be frank. Like, when you're not playing against a combo deck, and when you're playing against some sort of, like, mid-range deck that, like, actually cares about, like, creature combat and such, Mom's crazy. Hey, that's not bad. Unfortunately, like, for the rest of this game, I kind of have to, like, live scared. Because if my opponent has anything to put in off this vial, like, any attack I make is just bad. So I think I'm going to hold off on an attack for another turn. Ugh. Yeah, iPhone, there we go. There's the death. So I have, like, a single turn to try to close this game out. Oh my god, my opponent's terrible and played out the Jitte. That's so good for me, because I can top deck a Knight of Autumn to answer it. Either that or their last card is, like, Flicker Wisp, and nothing matters, and life is meaningless. Alright, what do I do with that? I wish I could bounce my own Knight of Autumn. That would be so good. I guess I can bounce the Mom and see what they do. But I really need to play this in order to increase the size of my Thala's Lieutenant by 1. Because I think I need this to survive some Jitte counters. Oh. Alright, so they targeted their Flicker Wisp. The Flicker Wisp has pro-white. But the Noble Hierarch attack is still probably fine. So this will turn into a 2-3, and it can trade with Flicker Wisp, which my opponent won't do. And it beats Stoneforge in combat. I think I have to make this attack. They have, like, a Brimaz or a Mirren Crusader, it's bad, but, like, if they have more stuff, I'm losing anyway. We did not do a good job at drawing the right side of our deck for this matchup, by the way. We have not drawn, like, the Orzhov Pontiffs that I've so been wanting to play. Yikes. Alright, so what happens if I shove with everything? If I shove with everything, we see block, block. My opponent will take 3 damage. I'll lose a creature. Alright, what's the world where I win? The world where I win, one way or another, might involve drawing Orzhov Pontiff. So if I Pontiff... Ugh. Alright. I think I'm going to pass the turn. I think my hope is that my opponent uses too many Jitte counters and also doesn't have anything. Oh, God. No. Alright. I'm not going to beat that. That's too much there. So to finish my thought, I think my hope was, like, my opponent goes and, like, kills my entire board, and, like, then I, like, draw up Pontiff and get to, like, sweep the Wisp and the Mom off, and then maybe I can beat, like, Stoneforge plus Jitte with the top deck Knight of Autumn or something like that. But once, like, there's another piece of equipment in play, that's hard. Too hard. We are not putting up a good show with humans tonight. I mean, so I essentially, like, played humans today because, like, I couldn't put together a black-white D&T list that I actually liked. And I had some, like, reservations in actually going and playing humans tonight because of this. So when I looked at the MTG Top 8 and I looked at humans, there was only a single humans deck list that had a finish in the last 2 months. So, like, I kind of had this thought that, like, the deck might not be super well positioned, but I decided to play it anyway because I thought some of the cards that were in it were good. I don't know where that leaves us. Like, we've certainly gotten poor matches, but, like, maybe more generally, there's a reason why humans isn't putting up results. Jazzy, I'd play D&T over humans, probably. I'm not feeling great about this deck list. I'm going to be keeping this. I'll have to think about whether or not I want to lead on Mom or Champion. I think I want to lead on Champion to just, like, start the aggression early. All right, chat. So I guess our opponent is playing some sort of, like, Leyline Rip Helm deck. Or... no, it's got to be, like, some sort of Leyline Helm deck. No, I don't think we're going to be playing against, like, the Leylines deck. They can't keep a hand with a single Leyline. Dredge to never to lose to Bridges. That would be kind of hilarious. But that's so deep. That's so deep. Oh, and 15-stepper. GG, by the way. Alright, well, it's a mystery. Oh yeah, 100% matchup did not feel good on my side. I also, like, totally drew the wrong parts of my deck. So, like, my keep in game 1 had, like, Thalia and Sanctum Prelate as, like, my gas cards in hand, plus, like, a very awkward champion of the parish. So, like, my draws did not line up well. I didn't get to do, like, sweet Orzhov Pontiff things, or, like, Recruiter for Pontiff, or, like, play P and K or anything. And I needed some of those gas cards. I wonder if this pause is, like, my opponent has Fatal Push, and they're trying to decide if they want to, like, Fatal Push a champion or a Mom. Or it could have been them getting a nice Mountain Dew. Who knows? All right. It is, like, Turbo Leyline Helm. Alright. So they named Dark Depths for spoils of the vault. So I guess they have, like, Dark Ritual Vampire Hex Mage make an idiot. Yeah. Oh. Please, dealer, one time, Caracas off the top. Fuck yeah! I am a skilled magician! Bow down to my powers. Let's play a Grand Prix. Time for me to top 8. Oh, God. I am using up all of my bracket in the X. Yeah. Using up all of my bracket in the luck thing. Yeah, alright, you know what I meant. Alright, so we're going and playing against essentially what is probably a Leyline Helm, Vampire Hex Mage, Dark Depths, Thespian Stage deck. Who knows, maybe there's Grizzlebrand Reanimate in there too. Like, we're essentially playing against a 2-card Monty deck, where our opponent is going to be looking to assemble some combination of 2 cards that, like, magically kills us somehow. So, how do I board? So, like, Teague's good. I'm going to, like, talk to myself for a minute. Teague's good against the Helm side, and so is Knight of Autumn. Palace Jailer is good against the Merit Lodge side. P&K can produce multiple blockers for that, but it's probably too slow. Deputy of Detention is probably actively good. Sanctum Prelate's probably actively good. Lord Darkview, I don't know if they have a third A plus B combo in the main deck, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had a third one in the sideboard and they could do some adjustment. Like, it totally would not surprise me to see, like, say a sideboard package that was, like, 4 Entombs and, like, 6 reanimation spells or something like that. Like, that sort of thing would not surprise me at all. But, like, I obviously don't know what's going to be in this deck list. Alright, I think Pontiff is going to be bad as a whole. Sideboarding for this matchup is going to be, like, impossible. I don't think I'm going to want to be on Thalia's Lieutenants. I think I'm going to want to be on, like, relevant spells.deck. I think this might be too slow. I'll take the Jailer because, like, it's going to be good against a lot of things happening on the other side of the battlefield. And maybe I'll trim a Mother of Runes. Again, not really sure everything that's going on in that deck over there. But I hope that all these bears are good. This hand looks sweet. I have a Caracas for a Merit Lodge. I have multiple Hate Bears for whatever else is in the deck over there. Our opponent has gone to 5. Luckily, the London Mulligan rule is not yet in progress, so I don't need to worry about that. No Leyline this time. Ratchet Bomb. Ratchet Bomb is pretty good against me. LED, yes. Now you ask, will I just snap off Wasteland on Ancient Tomb when my opponent only has 2 cards remaining in hand? Well, that's not a question. Of course I will. So life's kind of awkward. This Ratchet Bomb's very good. I'm actually just going to lead on a creature. I would rather the Ratchet Bomb not take the Vial out. And if I draw a land, I'm totally fine with just, like, playing a Thalia out or something like that. Pithing Needle, which presumably will just go on my Caracas that's being shown here. Yep. Totally fine with that. Yep. Alright. So I get to play Thalia. My opponent may choose to, like, Ratchet Bomb and get rid of the Champion of the Parish to save a considerable amount of damage over time. Nope. They are more concerned with getting the Thalia off the table. That makes sense to me. But that also just means that, like, these 1-drops are unlocked in my hand. Man, I get to play a neat game here. Where if I leave this Caracas open, my Thalia can't actually be killed. Permanently, that is. But I guess there's the Pithing Needle that I forgot about over there. That is protecting it. Yeah, Lurifix, I figured it out. I forgot. My opponent's name is You, Me, and Iowa. Infernal Tutor. Double crack LEDs, do something cool. Double crack LEDs, do something cool. What do you have for me, friend? You have, like, ad nauseum in there? What the hell is that? Ill-gotten gains. Alright. Each player discards their hand, then returns over 3 cards from their graveyard to your hand. Alright, so what does my opponent discard? Oh, geez, my opponent discards LED, LED, Infernal Tutor. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, this is not good. So if I live, I'll take Thalia, Kitesail Freebooter, and Mother of Runes. But I think I just die. Somehow. I don't know how exactly. But if my opponent has a bunch of copies of Ill-Gotten Gains, they can make the storm count very high and just kill me. Yeah. So my opponent will, like, repeat the loop one more time. And now they can just get tendrils. Like, they can go crack LED, and tendrils me. Okay, so the Leyline Helm side of the deck was probably boarded out for this. Hey man with a plan, welcome. Oh, sorry, I opened up the graveyard and the exile zone and that pushed everything over. Alright, that should be fixed now. Okay, so knowing that, do I want to, like, go and board in something like Surgicals to stop the Ill-Gotten Gains chain? The issue is if they, like, board back into ley lines, I totally get juked, and Surgical's bad. Surgical's probably good enough. It's probably better than some of the other, like, top end of my deck. Yeah, Inquisitor Gato. Do you want to, like, send me that in chat, and I'll take a look at it after this match here? I'd be very happy to take a look at that. And Man with a Plan, congrats on getting a card hoarder account. Like, I love mine so much. Like, I've been very happy with my own. All right, so I think I'm gonna board out these Knight of Autumns. I think the Leyline Helm stuff is gonna be in the sideboard now. And then I'm gonna need to cut one other card. Maybe the card that I'm supposed to cut is the Palace Jailer. I'll have one fewer answer to Merit Lodge, but this allows me to just kind of like leave my vials at 3 and have more hits that I can put in. Okay, so I've opened that link. I'll take a look at it in between games. Well, Reflector Mage is pretty great against Merit Lodge. Like, I can't cut too many of my answers to that. No, I think Surgical is going to be much better than Fairy. Alright, turn 1 champion into turn 2 freebooter and disrupt whatever they've got going on. If I draw a land, I have a turn 3 prelate. That is good enough to keep this hand. This hand is not amazing, but there are a lot of good top decks. So any land is great. A Surgical is great. A Thalia, Meddling Mage, or Freebooter is great. Alright, so I'll probably lose my Freebooter here because it's like the turn 2 piece of interaction. So be it. Another thing to start thinking about is, like, what do I name with Sanctum Prelate, given the opportunity to cast it? Because I don't think there's a clear-cut answer to that. I wonder if my opponent is, like, testing this deck in preparation for the London Mulligan, where, like, if you are looking for some combination of cards and you can find it quickly, you have a good chance at doing so off mulligans. All right, they took the Deputy of Detentions, which is really good for me since I drew that Reflector Mage. Well, ain't that awkward? So if I take the Ensnaring Bridge, I may have time to kill him. If I don't take the Ensnaring Bridge, I might just lose to that. I have 2 turns to either kill my opponent or be able to answer end step, depth stage. Well, they can, like, just play Thespian Stage and, like, slam the bridge if they want. And my champion's going to get big quickly. I don't think leaving them the Dark Ritual is going to actually do anything. So I am going to take the bridge. W3Y, L3R, thank you very much for following. I hope you are enjoying the content. I am so good at Magic. So very good at Magic. So as long as I hold this up, I can't die. But I don't need to, like, worry about it this turn. I get to play, like, Sanctum Prelate on something. I know they have a Dark Ritual, but I don't actually think that matters that much. I kind of think I should name 2 to stop the, like, Infernal Tutor Ill-Gotten Gains loop. Actually, no. Maybe I name 1 because it stops the Pithing Needle. Because Pithing Needle is an out to this current situation. My opponent could go, like, Dark Ritual, Pithing Needle on Caracas, and then, like, Depth Stage, create a Merilage. I have talked myself into that. Okay, so one of those Dark Depths is gone. This Dark Ritual is shut off. This Caracas now needs to remain untapped forever. Do I want to draw a card with Horizon Canopy? I don't know that I actually do. Or, like, I don't know that I need to immediately is probably a better way to say that. Alright. So play a champion using Ancient Ziggurat because it can only be used to cast creature spells. Yeah, our opponent is doing some interesting stuff over there. Like it's obviously not good, but it's interesting exploration, right? Okay. So first I want to like take a look at this black and white D&T deck that someone from chat sent me. All right, who sent me this again? Inquisitor Gato. Ah, Sandstone X-Ray, you're right. I should have conceded at the very end. Fun. All right. Yeah, this is, like, the main deck here is kind of similar to what I had put together myself to, like, try out. But I had a second Phyrexian Revoker. I was playing no Mirran Crusader and a Phyrexian Revoker instead. And I was also running 23 lands. I did a split of my fetch lands, but this is a very similar main deck to what I came up with. The issue I was coming up with when I was building this is, like, I wanted more flyers. I wanted, like, something that could help me stabilize more versus Delver, because if I'm going to be, like, losing life to my Marsh Flats and my Bobs, like, I wanted something fat to, like, gum up the board, so I wanted Serra Avengers, but I couldn't figure out how to fit Serra Avengers into the deck list, and, like, also play, like, Bobs and Pontiffs, unless I did something like just play 2 Bobs, and like if I'm playing Bob, I want to go like 4 deep. So like I just wasn't super comfortable with the deck list. It just like wasn't feeling good to me. Like I felt like I could like play the main deck Pontiff and a couple of Bobs, but I wasn't comfortable with how my in-out numbers were going to be working if I did that. As far as the sideboard goes, Sword of War and Peace is spicy. I haven't played that card in a long time. Most of the rest of the stuff that's here looks totally reasonable. Cabal is sweet. I don't know that Cabal's actually good, though. Like, I kind of want faster hate versus the combo decks rather than Cabal. Like, I love the card. I don't know that it's good enough right now. Like, I don't know that, like, this is better than, like, Chalice or something like that. Oh, but like this is a fine attempt at the deck list. Like the main deck is pretty good. Like I'd probably like switch the Crusader for an Avenger to have some fat, but I mean I like where this is at. All right, so let's talk about this deck here. Let's kind of like do our recap. So we went 2 and 3. I think we got some bad matches. But more generally, I didn't necessarily feel fantastic about the deck tonight. I like 5-color humans best when you are in a very heavy combo metagame where you just get to go like hate bear into hate bear into hate bear into hate bear and just strip your opponent of all the things that matter in their life. And I don't know that the 5-color mana base is free right now. Like I think Red Prison is probably on the decline because there's so much Stoneforge Mystic running around. But just because like I've identified that it's on the decline doesn't mean that everyone else has. And I still think there's plenty of people like mucking around with the deck and playing the deck. So like maybe not enough time has passed where this is a viable strategy yet, is kind of what I'm getting at. I like this version of the deck less than the versions that I've played previously. I think it's too greedy. So multiple times throughout this league, I kind of like saw the issue where like these creatures that aren't humans are causing us trouble because like our mana base is greedy to begin with, and where we're on a draw where we have like one of the rainbow lands and it's already set on humans, casting these things can be hard on the non-noble hierarch draws. So if I were playing 5-color humans, I don't know that I would get quite this greedy. I might try to like not play as many off creature type cards. I kind of want to be playing Dark Confidant in this main deck. I don't know if that's greedy or not, but I think Bob's pretty well positioned right now, and I kind of wanted to shove a couple of those in here over the Phantasmal images, but I made no changes to the deck list that I got. I just like snagged it and went with it. But I think you can like build this deck in like basically the same way and eliminate some of like the creature types. So like for example, you can play a Manic Vandal and a War Priest of Thune and end up in a similar place as you would with like the 2 Knight of Autumns. I don't know. All right, let's look at Eddie's spicy humans list. Okay, so I like what this list is doing because with the fetches and like some number of planes, you can at least like try and have some success at playing around a Blood Moon and not just be like 100% locked out. I like that. You know, this is like somewhere between like the traditional 5-color humans and D&T in terms of viability. And like there are going to be some pros and cons to this. You know, the pro is that you get to abuse Cavernous Souls. The con is you don't have like some of the utility in your lands like you do with Rashadenport, and like you don't have as many Horizon Canopies, so you don't have as many like endgame bombs, or sorry, not endgame bombs. You don't have as many opportunities for redraws in the late game. So I don't know. I think something like this is viable. I'd totally consider testing something like this out. And I'm gonna like save that screenshot for later. By the way, is Lantern Scout that like terrible gain some life card? What is Lantern Scout? Yeah, give your creatures lifelink until end of turn. That is an appropriate amount of deep. I like that. See, here's the shameful thing, chat. I knew what that is because I've registered it before. Ooh. Yeah. I've played that card in the sideboard of humans before as well. Yeah, you can tutor for it. I don't know that I'd like go so far as to say it's sweet, but it's definitely like super swingy and has the possibility of doing some broken things. All right. So let's do some real talk for a minute. Sort of like aside about Phil's life right now. Yesterday I found out that my job does not exist for the next school year. The Latin program at my school is being downsized, and I am being cut from my position. And I'm sort of currently in process of figuring out what I am doing with my life. So in some capacity, there's big changes coming for me. I don't know if that means I am moving. I don't know if that means I am like changing careers and I'm no longer teaching. But kind of the situation that I'm being put in is like either I stay in Roanoke and I stop teaching because, you know, there's probably not going to be another Latin position in the immediately available area, or like I move to go to somewhere where there is a Latin teaching position. So I'm in process of figuring that out, and it's stressful and it sucks. I'm trying to take it in stride, but you know, it's hard. Kill the other Latin teachers. Now that is certainly an option. You know, we've got to think about it. Got to think about the pros and cons. The pro being I get to keep a job. The con being I got to be real good or I don't get away with it. And there's probably some legal repercussions there that I don't know all of the details of. But it can't be good for me, and it can't be good for the stream. Challenge the other Latin teacher to a best-of-1 D&T mirror match. Winner takes all. I would like my odds there, considering that I don't think any of the other Latin teachers in county know how to play Magic at all. So I'd be feeling pretty good about that. So I'm gonna like try to keep up the oomph on the stream. I'm gonna try to sit here, smile, and just like have a good time. But if it looks like I'm dragging some days, there's a reason behind that. Things are hard right now, and I'm losing a lot of sleep, a lot of uncertainty in my life. And it takes a lot to like even say that and like say like, hey stream, I'm having some trouble. But you all are kind of like a weird family to me. Mostly like weird uncles, but I like you all. So, figured I should give you the heads up. I still have employment for a few months, and I've got like my Latin Academy gig over the summer. So I'm not like in immediate financial danger or anything like that. So, you don't need to freak out. But I'll keep you posted as I figure out what's going on in my life. I don't really know yet. But that's okay. You get used to it, right? Like, life keeps trying to kick you in the shins, and you just say, like, ow, that hurt, but, like, does my ether vial resolve? Yeah, your vial resolves. Well, alright. Alright. So, let's talk about this weekend. And I don't just mean, like, what stream I'm doing. Although, do I have a stream scheduled for that? I think I have something that I'm playing Saturday. Oh, God. So my Saturday deck list is a spicy standstill deck list, and like all I'll say is you are going to want to see this. This is probably like the most interesting deck list that I've ever played on stream. Like I had to look up a bunch of cards in it. Like it's gonna be cool. A friend of Senior Larson's donated indirectly through them in order to get this on stream. It's gonna be neat. And then next Monday, that's when my matches for Phoenix got pushed to. By the way, I want to thank Atticus P for donating towards this stream. They didn't make a donation towards any specific deck. It was just like towards the stream. So it was just kind of like whatever I wanted to play. And it ended up being humans tonight. Oh, it has some planeswalkers that have never been played on this stream before in it. It's going to be neat. So thank you all for joining me tonight. If you're enjoying my content, please follow. I'm doing Legacy on here 3 days a week. And if you're really enjoying the stream, please consider doing something to support me financially. Whether that's, you know, becoming a subscriber to the stream, or whether it's doing a donation deck list for 12 bucks. You get your sweet, sweet deck on this stream, and everyone can look at it with my awesome Cardboard Live extension. All right, folks, I'm going to turn you over to Bosch and Roll for Legacy with the Vintage Champ. I don't know what exactly they're playing tonight. All right, so that's a good question. So Chimera asks, Phil, any thought about streaming full time? I would love to do that, but in terms of like financially being viable at this time, I'm very, very far away from that, and I don't know that at this stage I'm close enough to making that work that I can like take a gamble. You know, a few years down the line, if I keep expanding my content, you know, we can talk about that. But, you know, the way it is right now, this is supplemental income. I will be you know, raking in a couple $100 every month playing Magic, and that's great, but it's, you know, nowhere near the couple of thousand that I would need in order to like make this a financially viable career, especially considering that like I'd have to like get my own insurance and everything. We're pretty far away from that. You know, if I get to 100,000 viewers on YouTube or something like that, then it's different. 15 Stepper, yes, I am playing in the Format Challenge on Sunday. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about for this weekend. I don't know what I'm playing in the Format Challenge on Sunday. I don't feel good about D&T, and I don't particularly feel good about Red Prison. I feel very good about Ant, but I don't know that I have enough reps in order to make that work. So Saturday after my standstill stream, I'm gonna like probably play Magic all day and try to figure out like what actually feels good, because I don't know. I have things that I'm leaning towards currently, but I clearly you're playing Blue Eye Delver. That is not happening. That one's not happening. I would not enjoy playing a Format Challenge with that deck. I think Ant is a very well-positioned deck, but I'm not quite there yet. I think I'm close to being comfortable enough to playing it in the event, but the prizes are too big. So like I'll probably play some version of D&T or Red Prison or another deck that I've played a lot, but I'm not comfortable in any 75 yet. All right, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight, and, you know, I'm going to go try to, like, figure out my life and stuff. So cheers, and I'm going to turn you over to Bosch and Roll.